Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Emma Bloom. And she is a character from the book and the movie, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I just read the book and I loved it, and I'm looking forward to the movie coming out this year. So I figured we'd get a jump start and start making some of the characters. So for this pattern, you are going to need a light blue for the dress, the lighter the better. Skin tone, a light blonde or pale, like a tan or something for the hair, gold. I'm using just my bright yellow. That's the closest I have to her shade right at present, but the lighter the better. We need black for the shoes, and for the eyes I'm just going to use a couple of bands this time. If you'd like to use beads, you can thread on beads and put those across as well. You're going to want a C-clip or two, a hook or holding hook. The loom is going to be in the offset configuration. And my last note is that I have made a bow to add. This is optional. I can show you another kind of bow you can make, and you can always look on YouTube or Google to find tutorials for different kinds. So we're going to start by making the arms, and I will be making them just a little shorter than what you see here. Originally I had I believe 8 sets of double blue for the upper part, but I'm going to shorten that to 5. So let's begin right at the bottom. And for the arms, we're going to take a single band, skin tone, wrap it 1, 2, 3 times on the hook, and pull it onto 3 sets of double skin tone bands. So there's 1 and 2 and 3, and I'm going to use 5 sets of double light blue for the dress sleeve. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll be wanting another arm just like that. So let's take some skin tone again, a single skin tone, wrap it 1, 2, 3 times, pull it onto 3 sets of double bands again. 1, 2, and 3. And 5 sets of double blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now if you want, you can get a different hook to do your legs on. I'm just going to put them all in the same hook here, and I'll just push these down to the side a little. Alright, for our feet, we're going to do these, start these off kind of like boots, but we want them to be really thick because she's got heavy, like ironclad boots. So for our boots, we're going to take 2 black bands, wrap them 1, 2, 3 times. Take another 2 black bands and slide them through. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep a little tension here, keep the loop on my second finger, my middle finger of my left hand, and I'm going to reach around and pinch the hook right over the bands, and then I'm going to take 2 more black bands, put them on the top, twist them 1, oh, try that again, that one snapped, twist them 1, 2, 3 times again. Now I'm going to take my hook and put it back through the loops on the middle finger there. Take another 2 black bands, slide everything on top, and again I'm going to keep this on the middle finger of my left hand, pinch the hook over those blacks, take 2 black bands, and 1, 2, 3 twists, and replace onto there. And I'm just trying to keep these kind of in order. I can see my middle pieces are sliding over, so I'm gonna pinch the outsides back to the outside. Now we're gonna take a single black band, stretch it, twist it, pull it back onto itself, and slide everything onto there. Again, you want to try and keep it somewhat in order, even if it means pulling them over a couple bands at a time. And we're going to put the other end back on, place on 2 black bands, or slide it onto 2 black bands, and we're going to put the 2 in the middle again, so pinch, grab 2, put them on the end, 1, 2, 3 times, slide it down, put your hook back through, and this is going to go onto 2 black bands, and then we're finished our boots, and it's pretty easy from here. Okay, so we're gonna switch to skin tone and start on the lower part of the leg. And the reason we're making our loom separately, I'll just make a quick note to you here, is because when we put everything on the loom, it gets a little hard to fit everything on at the same time sometimes. Okay, so this is going to go onto 3 sets of double skin tone bands. So take 2 skin tone and put this on, and it's easier when you have the frame, the body layout, and you can just add the sections on, the limbs on. Makes it go a lot more smoothly. Okay, and after those 3 sets of double skin tone, we want one pair of blue bands, and we can make our other leg. So we'll go just a little bit faster now. You know the method here. We have 2 black bands. We're going to put them on the end of the hook and wrap 1, 2, 3 times. Slide that onto another 2 black bands. Don't put the end on back yet, because we're going to turn this over and put on 2 blacks, 1, 2, 3, wrap them, put the other end back on, slide onto another 2, leave the end off, wrap another 2 on the top, 1, 2, 3, put the end back on. This will all go onto a doubled over single, and then onto 2 black bands. Don't replace yet, put 2 more in the middle or on the end here, 1, 2, 3, and go back over, and this all goes onto 2 black. Now if this was a little too fast for you the second time, you can always jump back on the video and watch the first leg being done again. That was I tried to do it a little slower that first time. Now we have 3 sets of double skin tone. 1, 2, and 3. And 1 set of double blue. We're gonna put together the hair extensions a lot later. For now, we are ready to start on the dress on the loom. So we have our limbs, we've got our loom ready, and just to show you, the open parts of the pegs are on the downside. We have all of our pegs. We've got like a C. They look like little C's where they are. And that way you know you're facing in the right direction. So we're going to start right at the neck with 2 skin tone bands. They go from the top center peg to the second peg down in the center. And we're going to switch to blue, and we're going to come down until we are at the 3rd peg from the bottom on the left side. Oh, let's come down to the side first. Let me just show you that part. So 2nd peg center to 2nd side, and then we come down until we're at the 3rd peg from the side. So that will be 1, 2, 3 sets of doubles, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 times down. And for the other side, we'll do the same thing. Come down once from the second center to the second side. And then we're going to come down the loom. What was that? 8 times, 9 times until we're at the same row that we finished the first side. It's going to be, this is a symmetrical pattern, as most patterns are, and we like them because it's a lot easier to remember. It's a lot easier to do because you're always repeating things one side to the other. And in the middle now, we're going to come down until we're at the 3rd peg from the bottom on that row. So we're going to start at the 2nd peg down, and we're going to put in double bands once, twice, 3 sets, 4 sets, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 times. Okay, let us get a single blue, stretch it, double it over, and we're going to slide both of the legs onto that. Now this is going to come across the third peg from the bottom on one side to the 3rd peg on the bottom on the other side, so it just stretches right across. And we're going to reach between the legs and pull the band that the legs are on up over the 3rd peg from the bottom on the center. We're going to do we can put our arms on next, and we'll put our holding bands, and the arms are just going to be shifted off of the hook and onto the 2nd peg down on each side respectively. And I'll tell you just now, if you are not happy with the length of the arm, up to this point you can still make it longer by adding more sets. But we're going to try it here with the 5. I think this will be nice. Okay, all those bands are on. And as for our holding bands, so I remember, we're going to start with our doubled over single triangle, which is on the 5th peg down. So take a single, twist it, pull it onto itself, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pegs down. Stretch this across and bring it up over the center peg, the 5th center peg, counting down. For the rest of our holding bands, we're going to do triangles that just go across as singles. So you would place it across all of your 3rd pegs down, all of your 4th pegs down, and then under that doubled over one, we're going to do it again on the 6th pegs down, and continue to do this until we get to the bottom. So you can pause the video here and just check that your loom looks like this right now. You don't need one on the one that the legs are on. Okay, last part for the skirt is our extension. And for this, we're going to do light blue again, and we're taking a single blue, wrapping it once and twice on the hook. You can even do it 3 times if you want to. And we're going to pull this onto 4 pairs of double bands. So 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets, and 4. And we're going to take the bands that are on the hook. Oops, just lost my pattern there. Just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on the 8th peg down, if you're counting from the bottom, this is the 4th peg up of the blue. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure I've got all of those on here. That's when I'm slipping. Okay. band, you're going to stretch it down, and each of these sections has 8 lines in it. So you want to grab one out of those 8 lines of each chain. I'll show you what I mean in a second here. So in this part of the chain, there are 8 lines of band coming down. You're just going to take one and pop it over that next peg down. And we're going to do the same for the section below. And what this does is it keeps this piece from hanging loose at the side. It connects it. That's these little webby pieces you're going to see. And we're going to pull this down one more time. And that capping band is just going to be sitting at the side. We're not hooking that onto anything. Okay, let's make another of these for the other side. Single wrapped twice onto 4 sets of double bands. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to place that on across from where I place the bands on for the other side. So it's the 8th peg down again. Grab a piece out of each section of the chain. So one for the peg below, one for the peg below that, and one for the peg below that. And that little nubby cap band is just going to hang loose at the side. And that's okay, that's where we want it to be. Alright, I think we are ready to loop up the body. So let's go, we'll do the sides first. And if you turn your loom sideways, you'll see from each set, there's a bottom layer. So you'll see the ones that are underneath here, and those are the ones you're going to get, the ones that are under everything else. So we go to the 3rd peg up from the bottom, push back the top bands, and get the 2 bands that are on the bottom. Carefully scoop them forward and place them around the next peg. Push back, get the next 2, and move forward. And we're going to do this all the way up and along. You only want 2, but you want to make sure you get both of those 2 every time. Oops. Just grabbed the wrong ones. Let's try that again. If you see any bands coming loose as you're doing this, really the best thing is to stop and go back and fix it, but if it's a little late, just keep an eye out and try to catch them and secure them before there can be any problems. Hopefully you won't have any missed ones there and all will be well. We're going to get the last 2 here from under that 2nd peg down and scoop them up and bring them to the center. I remember when I started doing these, I would always rush through and there would always be something sticking out on the side. So for those of you who are sort of starting out or just, still practicing, it's all good, but that's my pointer as someone who used to drop a lot of stitches, is just keep an eye out and grab the loose bands where you see them and fix them where you can. It gets a little easier as you go. Okay, we're looping straight up the sides. We're going to pull the last 2 into the middle, and then we go back to the bottom and we're going to loop straight up. So grab the 2 that are kind of to the bottom of that 3rd peg from the bottom and loop straight to the top of the loom. Bottom 2 pink, and put your hook through the ones in the top center peg, and we're going to ease this off of the loom. You can use your fingers or another hook if you want to. You always start at the sides and move downwards and then inwards. Once it's kind of loosened up more, then we'll be able to pull down from where our hook is. Alright, just hold on to those top ones. And can straighten things out a little bit. Then we'll start on the head and the face, and we'll deal with our details after. So back to the loom now, and we've got yellow bands, or whichever color you're using from the hair. 2 bands from the top center to top right, 2 from the top center to top left, and come down on each row 1 time with double bands. We're going to switch to skin tone and come down twice on either side with double bands from the 2nd to 3rd pegs and the 3rd to 4th pegs. Too stretchy here. And in the middle row we're going to come down 3 times with double bands. And then we want to take 2 bands and come in from either side, from the 4th side to the 5th center. Let's do some doubled over single holding bands. So take a single band, twist it, pull it back onto itself, and this is going to go across the 2nd pegs down in a triangle. We'll do this again on the 2 sets underneath. Just before we start on the hair, let's do our eyes. So as I said, I will be using bands this time, and to that end I'm going to take 2 turquoise bands, wrap each one 1, 2, 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times. And pull onto a single skin tone band. If you're using beads, you'll have to get both of your beads onto a single skin tone band as well. And we want to put this across, I believe it's the 3rd pegs down, but let me double check that. Yeah. So just across from one side to the other on the 3rd pegs down. And you're going to get your hook in between and pop the band with the eyes on it so that half of it is over the 3rd peg down in the center. Now just before we put on the body, let's get our hair extensions ready. And I want to show you really quickly, if you do the 2nd hair extensions, then this is what this will look like when it cuts off. So what I'm going to be doing is putting the body on backwards if you have a back side that you'd like. And we're going to press the eyes through to the back side when we're done. If you don't want the secondary yellow pieces, then it doesn't matter which way you choose to have us up. So for the hair extensions, I think I am going to put the body on first. Okay, I want this to be on the back side, so I'm going to turn this to face with the back side facing up if you have a preference. Okay, I'll just tuck that in there. Now my hook is free. So for the hair extensions, I'm taking a yellow band, wrapping it once and twice, and I'm going to take 2 bands, put them on, and pull the wrapped band over. And I want a total of 8 pairs in this chain. So that was 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is for the long chain. I'm going to place this onto the top peg up on the side. Just transfer the bands from the hook, and I'm going to stretch it out and take a piece out of each chain to pull onto the pegs below. Okay, like so. We'll make them for the other side, same deal. Single wrap twice, hold on to 8 sets of double bands. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 onto the top peg on the side. Transfer all the bands that are on your hook and stretch it down to so that we can take one piece of each chain to put over the corresponding pegs. Now if you don't want to have the secondary chains here, you can skip ahead a little bit and we're just going to loop up. If you are going to make them with me, then we'll repeat what we did for the long ones, but we're only going to do 5 sets each. So this is 1, 2, 3, oops, try that again, 4, and 5. This will go on to the 4th peg down. Just transfer it, let it hang there. Other side, single wrapped twice onto 5 sets of double bands. Turn your loom around, put this on the 4th peg down on the other side. We're ready to start looping here. So I'm going to stretch the neck down for a minute so you can see this a little better. And I'm going to reach into that 5th peg down in the center, loop to the side once. What I'd like to try and do is kind of pull those bands over. Now I'm losing it. Over the hair chain so that the blonde shows up more on top. Although this is going to be the back of it, so I guess it doesn't matter so much. Okay, I can loop up to the top on the right side, pushing back all of the bands. So you press back, grab the bottom 2, and bring them forward. And I'm going to loop into the middle. Actually, we'll do the center row first. Next side, get your bottom or your top 2, bring them over to the left side. Like I said, we don't really need to worry about pulling it over the chains. That one's going up. This one's going up. Where's my last over one? If you need to turn it to the side or push some bands back down so you can see them better, it's always an option. You can see here again, what I'm doing is going for the bottom 2 and bringing them forward. Push back, take the bottom 2 only and bring them forward. You want to watch that you're not grabbing your eyes off there. And now we can loop up the center, starting at that 5th peg down, pull the remaining 2, bring it forward, forward, right to the top. From either side, we want to get the last 2 from under those top side pegs and bring them to the center. And then you're going to grab a single yellow or hair colored band, prepare it, get it ready on your left fingers, and with your right hand put your hook through the bands on the top center peg and pull that yellow band through, and place one side over the other to create a slip knot. And we can carefully take this off the loom and then we'll do our finishing touches. Grab yourself a C-clip there, and you're going to figure out which is the back side. And the way you can tell, okay, so you can sort of see you want your blonde pieces to be more to the side, and you're going to push your eyes through to whichever side that is. And then on the back side, you want to hold on to that securing band, put your hook through a couple of nearby bands, grab the securing yellow band and pull it under. This can go onto a C-clip, and this way your C-clip and your loose band won't be flopping about up here, and it's better secured. I'm just going to put this under a nearby band to keep it sturdy. I can see I have a loose band here, so I'm going to thread that in as well. I'm going to go under a nearby band, grab my loose one, slide it under, and I'll just put this on the same C-clip, should be okay. Alright, so 2 more little touches here. You can see I've got a little belt, and for that you can take 1 or 2 bands, up to you. Stretch it out, bring it over the body, position it where you want it, twist, and put it over the body again, and you just want to slide those 2 pieces together. Okay, for the bow I'm going to show you 2 techniques. First one, and I'm going to do this around the loom here. Okay, so you can take your band and you bring it around a peg, and you're going to cross them over each other. This is a little bit easier than doing it on the finger, although I'm used to doing it on my fingers, but if you've got thicker fingers, this is a little easier to get around, but it's still a little awkward, I'm afraid. Okay, so twist it around. Not doing this very well. Did it better the first time. Okay, so you've got it twisted. You're going to put 1 piece on top. I'm going to put the other side onto just a holding hook for now. And then what I want to do is take a hook and get the bottom piece and bring it over the top. And then we've got a little knot here. So this is one way to do it if you want just a really little bow tie. And what you're going to do is take your hook through from the back of the body to the front. And you're going to take another band, get it ready on your finger, put your hook through the knot that you just made very carefully, slide your band through that, put the other end on, and you can pull this to the back of the body. Okay, like so. And you can put that on a C-clip, or you can stretch those bands and pop them over, like over the head. So you could take it and bring it right over the head so that it's at the neck, okay? I'm just trying to do this quickly because I'll show you the other method as well. So that's one way to attach it. Now another kind of bow that I can show you, the one that I did on my first one, and I'll hold that up for you again. Just 1 second. Got this all twisty now. Where did that go? Okay, I'll sort that out after. Let's undo this. So the other kind you can do looks like this. You're going to take a single, wrap it 1, 2, 3 times, put it onto a doubled over single, make another one, single, wrap it 1, 2, 3 times, pull it onto a doubled over single, and we're going to put this onto, all of this onto another band, just a single band. And we put the other side on. You can pull one side over the other if you want to here. And then what we do is we just put this over the neck. Or you can pull it through from the back as I did originally. And you can double this over and bring it over again if you want to. Like twist, pop it over the head again. if you want, you can also kind of secure this on, like pull this over your bow tie. Trying to get a good fit here. And then come through from the bottom, from the back of the body, and pull that through again. Lock it into place, or even add an extra band to do so. And this can go onto a C-clip or go around the neck again. So those are a couple of options. You can also look online for more bow variations. I wanted something that was kind of small, so those are the two that I lean towards. But at any rate, there you have your Miss Peregrine's Emma Bloom, and I hope to get use some more patterns from that movie soon.